I personally haven't heard you address this. I'm sure you have, but obviously you're familiar with the final experiment that was done, about a year ago? People went down to Antarctica, and we observed, there was the observation of a 24-hour sun. So what's going on there?
I think that's a great question to speculate, but when it comes to my perspective of the shape of the Earth, the sky is astronomy. I see that being the study of the sky and the luminaries. When the final experiment was announced, personally, it didn't make a difference if the California Raisins showed up and they sang "We Have Sunshine on a Cloudy Day," my girl, right? My thought is, like, the shape of the Earth is the exclusivity, which is geodesics. That's the shape of the Earth. So what the sky does, it's something to marvel at, and I see it more as being a geocentric representation opposed to a heliocentric representation. But I'm open for the space of, like, what the sun is doing. I have skepticism about the final experiment, how it was conducted. But truly, I sit kind of moot about it all. It doesn't change my logic that large bodies of water do not curve at all. What the sun did in the final experiment, for me, doesn't change anything for me. The Earth's still flat.
All right, and let me give you my 90 seconds. First, the final experiment was designed specifically for me to go because I'm waking up too many people with my app and all the interviews I'm doing, and so they wanted to do something to discredit me. This final experiment was a big magic trick, and it was to... there's lots of speculation on exactly what happened. People like, the guy that flipped, he's paid... I don't know what happened down there, but whatever it was wasn't good. I can sense evil. After the second email I got about it, I said, never talk to me again, never reach out to me again. I don't deal with demons. Never before in history has any explorer went down there and filmed the 24-hour sun. It hasn't been done. No colleges, no scientists, no one's ever done it. Then a alleged preacher from Denver brings a bunch of propped up anti-flat earth YouTubers to Antarctica and a couple of flat earthers, and they filmed the 24-hour sun, and they filmed it. It's like there's so many anomalies with what they filmed. It doesn't make any sense. Like the sun high in the sky and low in the sky never changed any colors. It didn't get any redder. It was the exact same whiteness from high point to low point. So there's lots of issues on... I think they actually filmed something in the sky, but I don't think it was natural. I don't think it was real. But the thing is, the guy that ran it, his name was Will Duffy, right? And this guy claims to be a multimillionaire. He runs this little crappy church. He did sermons every Sunday for a year and put them on YouTube prior to this. And it's like, never once you hear a baby cry, a person cough. Never does you hear an amen. Never do you is like he's in the church by himself. It's just zoomed in on him. Never a peep. Nothing ever interrupted the sermon. And he did that for a year. That's, in my opinion, to set himself up to be this alleged preacher. So he claims to be a millionaire, but he wasn't able to pay a hotel bill. He had a debate at his church, and they went to pay the hotel for the flat earther that flew in. He had to go through like 7 credit cards before he could find one that would work. That says something.
Well, maybe he's a cash millionaire.
I actually did some research on him, and he was in the financial business prior, and he has 10 charges against him. He's paid $1 million in fines already. He's got another $1 million and possible jail time with these new charges that are happening. When he announced the final experiment, 3 more charges came. And then after the final experiment, 2 more charges came. And he's got all of this stuff that's going to basically put him in jail for the rest of his life, make him and his family broke forever. But all he cares about is settling the flat earth debate that he outright lied about. And he said, I learned about flat earth about 3 years ago. But he was the producer on Bob Enyard radio show for 10 years. And it was an anti-flat earth radio show. It was literally a show making one of the first anti-flat earth radio shows out there. So he's a liar. Him wanting to settle this debate when his life is in jeopardy of being incarcerated forever tells you something is up. Somebody is putting him up to this. So, hey, listen, you're going to jail for the rest of your life. Your wife too, because she's an accomplice. And you're going to lose everything you had. Or you can do this thing and we'll make all that stuff go away. That's what they do. They get you in a situation where you can't say no, and that's what I believe is going on. If you want to learn more about it, because I don't want to talk about it anymore,
sure.
go to my website, flatearthdave.com, and search The Failed Experiment. Watch the 7-minute video, and then you'll know that this is complete and total nonsense.
But it sounds like at
What a
one point
twist.
he was a multimillionaire.
Maybe, but a lot of people are multimillionaires and then go broke. But
Sure.
he literally
Right.
he couldn't. His credit card balance. His wife came down, went through more credit cards, and they finally found one that would work. Doesn't sound like a millionaire to me.
Maybe it's all in assets.
But,
you never know.
I'm going to throw one more thing in there, and I don't want to make
Okay,
this
no
long.
problem.
But helium and hydrogen.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about
If you fill a balloon with helium and hydrogen, what do? It goes up, right?
Right.
So helium and hydrogen defy gravity, right? Gas, air, any kind of gas will violently fill the available space. If there's a vacuum, it'll fill the available space. So they say the sun is 99% helium and hydrogen that defy gravity, but for some reason it's in a space vacuum. Instead of dispersing as it should, as every natural law says it should, it condenses into a burning nuclear furnace. And that has so much helium and hydrogen that defy gravity, has enough gravity to hold on to Pluto and every other planet, right? And it can burn 640 billion tons an hour or a day, whatever it is, something, and it never gets any smaller over billions of years. The story of the sun, the heliocentric story of the sun, is the most ridiculous, idiotic thing ever. So now you want to say that the movement of a light in the sky determines the shape of the Earth? First, you have to prove what that thing is, and it certainly isn't helium and hydrogen in a space vacuum. So all of space, everything, they're just assuming, oh, well, the stars are, the sun's 93 million miles away. It's in a space vacuum. It's made of helium and hydrogen. It burns incomprehensible amounts of fuel every single day, but never gets any smaller. Are you kidding me? It's the dumbest crap ever. But people are like, that's too much for them to think about because they were never taught to think. And they're like, well, it says in a textbook, it must be true. Because it's easier to believe. Belief is the enemy of knowing. You believe Gene's in Michigan. You believe it because he told you. You stored it as truthful information because why would he lie? He's actually in Taiwan.
What? This was a big twist? This is a big
Gene,
reveal?
we trusted you.
You lied.
Now you believe he's in Taiwan.
You lied to us,
you're believing
Gene.
again.
Ah.
He's actually in Michigan.
A double cross?
Oh,
Oh my
man.
goodness.
Belief is the enemy of knowing. It's the lazy man's knowing. But here's the thing. Don't feel bad. We have to believe because if we have to verify everything, we're never going to go anywhere. We're never going to get out of the house. If we have to verify everything, so we live in a world where we need to trust. We need to believe. We need to discern, right? But you listened to his voice, you looked at his face, you heard of whatever accent there is there, his knowledge of the area, your brain processed all that information in a fraction of a second. You're like, yeah, he's probably true. And you stored it as truthful information. But that's how we operate. But it's easy to believe that the sun can hold on to Pluto and ignore our moon because the Earth's gravity supersedes the sun. These are things you never even thought of.
Hang on. Was this really just like this was a big bit that you're not actually in Michigan? This was like a planned bit?
He is. What I'm telling you is it's easy to believe.
What the
it's
fuck?
It's easy to believe.
That would
It takes
be the
no
most
effort.
insane
It takes no
podcast if you guys planned that whole thing.
Gotcha.
I'm at the International Space Station right now.
You're with Katy Perry.